Jake Lewis.
Not gonna be in it.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, brother. I love the house music.
Great to see the fellas. Got them bald, huh? Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs Show. This is the NFL mock draft special, draft preview show. The best guest in the world, Scott McCabe, 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. right now for him, but he's still grinding for the pod. So what's up, Scott?
What's up, guys? Ready to talk some ball as always. Don't mind the time. We'll get down to business. And let's have a good chat about this. A lot to be discussed.
All right. We also have Martin Weisz here joining us from the University of Virginia. What's up, Martin? I don't think Martin knew that I was going to kick it to him right there, but we also have Sam joining us on the call. What's up, Sam?
Pleasure to be back, boys. Always a pleasure. Let's talk some business.
One of the two newest members of the brand, Coby Leibowitz. What's up, Coby?
What's up? Back-to-back episodes. I'm excited to talk about the draft and see what's going on.
And joining Coby right next to him is Daniel McCullon making his return to the show. What's up?
What's good, man? I'm excited to be back.
We have Tone joining us from an undisclosed location in Ohio right now.
What up? What up? Look at this beautiful sunset behind me.
That is a beautiful ass sunset behind you. Be safe. So we are going to just go ahead and I'm going to go by 1 through, I think I have 19 in the graphic. And we're just going to get everybody's thoughts. We'll just kick it right off here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're going to make the chalk pick, take Aiden Hutchinson. I don't think that they have the balls to go in a different direction. And I think that everybody expects him to take Hutchinson, so that's what he's going to do.
Best overall or, team need? Because the Jaguars, the worst team in the league last year, there's a lot of stuff that they need. I can definitely see him going Hutchinson. I don't think Kavon is their guy, but if they're smart, they're taking Icky or Evan Neal. They invested so much in their offense last year in the first round with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. I would love them to take an O-lineman, but I think it's going to be Hutch.
They just signed Brandon Sheriff to an extremely large
contract. Brandon
Sheriff,
Sheriff, an offensive guard. I don't know if you knew this, but Evan Neal actually plays tackle, and so does Icky.
Well, actually, I don't know if you know this. Cam Robinson is on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Great. Cam Robinson. Yeah, there's only one. They need another bookend tackle, as they say.
Oh, they do not. They do not need another
bookend. They can use a bookend. Like I said, I think it's going to be Hutch.
The Rams made it to the Super Bowl and won because, they had an amazing D-line, Aaron Donald, everything. Joe Burrow and the Bengals, they had an amazing D-line. That got them a really long way.
San Francisco.
Yeah, I feel like you can never have too much D-line. Like the teams with good pass rush always make it far. So I don't think it's a bad choice, and he's a good player.
I completely agree with that. You look at his Jags defense, they need a leader. They had Calais Campbell, and he was a leader for that team, and now he's gone. He's not there. And it's just like this vacancy that needs to be filled, and I think Aiden Hutchinson's the guy to do it. And like Tommy said, I don't think the Jags have the guts to go out there and pick someone completely off the charts that we haven't seen coming. I think they'll play it safe because they need to, because they're in rebuild. Hutchinson's the guy.
Hutchinson has the fewest questions between him, Walker, and Thibodeau, so I agree they're going to go Hutchinson.
Number 2, Sean, your thoughts, number 2, Kavon Thibodeau, going to the Lions.
It's a great pick.
Basically, he came out and said in an interview, there's nothing a coach can tell me that I don't already know, which just stinks with attitude for me. And I think that's why you've seen his draft stock kind of plummet a little bit. There's a lot for him to prove. He's building this name for himself. And if it doesn't go to plan, it could be quite nasty when you look back at all these comments he's made. But you got to love confidence, and Detroit lack confidence. So I like it as a pick.
Did he play a full season this year?
He missed the Ohio State game, which scouts hate because all of his other film is against Pac-12 tackles, so he missed the opportunity to go against a powerhouse. That's why, just really quick, if I had to guess who they're going to pick, I think they're going to pick Trayvon Walker because they produced about the same amount of production, but Trayvon Walker did it in the SEC and Thibodeau did it again in the Pac-12, which is the worst conference in the power. But I think Thibodeau is going to be a great player, and if the Lions pick him, then they'll be happy with him.
I feel like he's someone who could come in right away. Like he's not really a project, he's a prospect. So I think wherever he goes, he can make an impact.
Number 3, I have Javon Walker going to the Texans. I just think that Lovie Smith is like a defensive head coach, obviously, and I think that this is potentially best player in the draft, best player available here at 3. The Texans need everything. They really can't go wrong at 3. Georgia defense was insane, and he was a big part of it.
I think one interesting thing I saw with Trayvon Walker is when Caesars Sportsbook first came out betting on the number 1 overall pick, you couldn't bet on Trayvon Walker, and now he's got the second best odds. They've seen something's changing this guy. Trayvon Walker, he's a sneaky little gem. I'm looking forward to see where he lands.
Between Thibodeau and Walker, I would take Thibodeau. but you could flip a coin for me.
I think 2 and 3 are pretty interchangeable. Like no matter what the Lions do, I think the Texans would take whoever's left, like between the edge rushers. We'll go 4. Jets need every position as well. Sauce Gardner going to the Jets. They have a lot of picks and they have a lot of needs, but I think Sauce is a really good corner. Corner's also extremely valuable right now. Sauce is going to be on a rookie contract and every team needs a shutdown corner and he could be that.
That's a slam dunk pick. Sauce is a beauty, and his stats at Cincinnati, unbelievable considering it is the AAC. I haven't heard bad things at all about him, especially for a team like the Jets who need that, and they need kind of to bulk up their roster around everyone. You put him and Bryce Hall there in corner, that's good secondary.
Sauce has the perfect college resume. I mean, he's 1,000+ coverage snaps, no touchdowns. Cincinnati plays cover 1 hold. He's just man on man.
I think one thing that's so important in the NFL every year as it goes on, like speed becomes more and more of a factor. Players are getting faster, receivers, running back. So to have someone with that type of speed as a corner, like I feel like that's so important to be able to guard the deep ball and shut down the side of the field and just help all around.
That is another thing. He's 6'3" and he's running like one of your smaller corners. Him being that fast and covering that much ground, just you really can't go wrong with that pick.
I think when you had a guy like Darrelle Revis on the Jets, there's going to be a lot of same comparisons calling it Sauce Island, just like it was Revis Island if they make this pick. I think he's the best player available. They need a lot of pieces like Tommy said, but I think Sauce is the pick.
Well, with that, number 5, Evan Neal going to the New York Giants. It's kind of best player available, but it's also a need. And the Giants are giving Daniel Jones his last chance this year, and protecting him maybe gives him a better shot if he's the guy. Evan Neal's a really good tackle. I think that he could be a solid staple for them for 10, 15 years.
The Giants had the worst O-line in the league last year.
Number 6, and this might surprise some people. The Carolina Panthers are taking Malik Willis. They had to split time with Cam and Sam Darnold last year, and PJ Walker too. And Malik Willis could sit behind, I don't think Cam's coming back, but Sam Darnold for maybe half the year or the whole year, play next year. And I think that he has a chance to be really good. He also has a chance to be a bust, but he has really good potential. His highlights are insane, but his lowlights are really bad too. So I think the Panthers need a quarterback, and he's the best one in the draft. So what do you guys think?
I think they need a quarterback, but the CBS consensus draft has Kenny Pickett going here.
I think that Malik Willis is better than Kenny Pickett. I mean,
I think he is. I think he
like
is
Kenny
too.
Pickett, but
in all honesty, but Kenny Pickett has kind of emerged in his stock or whatever. I don't know if they found something about him or Carolina just likes him, but I could see Kenny going here.
Completely agree with Tommy. I think Willis might have the best chance of being something if any of them are. And I mean, Cam went 0-5 in his starting role. Sam Darnold showed that his decision making is equivalent to a brick wall.
As I saw a thing earlier, it's the first time in a decade that it's projected that a quarterback won't go in the top 5 picks. Shows you where this draft class is at. It's defensively stacked. It's stacked defensively. Look, realistically, if Malik Willis is in the draft last year, is he going ahead of some of those guys? Probably not. He's not going to.
Absolutely not. Part of it also, Scott, is that last year Jets and Jags were 1 and 2, and they both went quarterback, and they're both back at the top 5 again. It's like you would think that hopefully those quarterbacks would get you out of the top 5 the next year, but they didn't. Go to 7. I think that the Giants will take Kyle Hamilton here. He was potentially a top 3, top 5 type guy a couple months ago, but he kind of had a slow 40. People are a little worried about that, but best play was against Florida State, covering the whole field, get the pick. And that play alone just shows his potential and like freakish ability.
Put it out there. If Kyle Hamilton drops out of the top 5, I think we'll see a lot of teams trade up and try and get him because
yeah, it's also possible the Giants have 2 picks. So
yeah, Giants have 2 picks. The Jets have 2 picks. Texans have 2 picks.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do any trades just because
I just was putting it out there just
for sure.
He's such a commodity to get the safety position that I think you'd see a lot of teams try and trade up to get him.
Kyle Hamilton went to my school, and he also lived 2 doors down from me. And I don't want to see his career rot with that awful franchise, even though New York's a very cool place to be. There's a difference between game speed with pads on and when you're in shorts and a T-shirt running in a straight line. Him and Sauce Gardner, in my opinion, are the 2 best players in this draft. Like, if you put them on an NFL field tomorrow, they would be the best.
That man really jumps off the tape. Like, just that FSU game definitely did set the tone. First game of the season. It's just like his awareness, and it just seems like he's really really like in the film sessions, and he really pays attention, keys in on certain things. I mean, he can play in the box, he can make tackles open field, and he can cover the whole field.
If you look at the futures of all these teams really quickly, if you could have AJ Terrell, Kyle Hamilton, and Kyle Pitts as your stars for the next 10 plus years, they are set up for success. All they need is a quarterback. Enough of my Falcons hype. I'm not a Falcons fan. I'm just
let's go to the Falcons here. Pick
yeah, what do you got?
Smooth transition.
Garrett Wilson.
Got him, Garrett Wilson. See, I told you Garrett Wilson was going to sneak his way up here.
Their wide receivers are literally nobody. Calvin Ridley, obviously.
Shout out FanDuel.
Yeah, suspended. So like
FanDuel to the moon.
They literally have no wide receivers. So Cordell Patterson can play receiver, but like he can't be their wide receiver 1 and running back 1 at the same time. So I think
Garrett Wilson, returner.
Exactly. So I think Garrett Wilson is a good pick here. I think he's pretty consensus best receiver in this class. Potentially Drake London, but I think Garrett Wilson's probably going to go first, and I think Atlanta needs it. So
if Atlanta does want to do something to make themselves not a joke next year, it would be to get a receiver.
I'm gonna disagree with what Sam just said. I think the Falcons need to start building their offensive line for next year.
Yes, Tony, agree.
Taking a receiver here makes absolutely no sense with Marcus.
Who are they throwing to?
Quarterback. Who's throwing the football?
Marcus Mariota.
He's your quarterback?
I'm not saying I like that, but I've heard of Marcus Mariota. I literally looked at the Falcons depth chart. Their wide receiver 1 I've never heard of before.
You don't. Well, this draft class is stacked in wide receivers. The Falcons need to start building up their offensive line for the quarterback that they're going to get next year. And you can take, 2 receivers in the 2nd and 3rd round. I think they got multiple 3rd round picks now.
Honestly, the Falcons could be a team that could look to trade back just because they have so many needs. You could trade back and get like Jameson Williams maybe and like an offensive lineman, like you said. They have so many needs. I agree that they need to protect. If they want to have any shot, that you need some type of weapon.
This year is thrown away. The Falcons threw it away the minute they traded Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
They threw the season away. They're going for next year. They got to start building their offensive line.
They do like taking receivers though. They took Russell Gage and they took Calvin Ridley, and those two were both pretty good. We'll go here to number 9, Icky, going to Seattle. They have a lot of needs too. This is a potential spot for Kenny Pickett, but I don't think they'll do it. I think that Icky's a good pick here. They need a tackle. He's best player available at this point. He could go top 6 or 7.
Well, if Atlanta needs a line as much as Tony says they do, then if Icky's still there, they're going to take Icky.
They also need receivers a lot too.
That is true. Yeah.
So they have a lot of needs.
Yeah. So does Seattle.
The Seattle Seahawks have a terrible history of drafting offensive linemen. Take Stingley and sort of get a corner that is shut down because their defense right now, they don't have any sort of keystones other than Blitz Boy.
If they do go quarterback here, I think they would go Corral.
Ooh.
I do.
I don't think Corral's going to be good.
Oh, really?
I don't mean to just say that with no information behind it.
I think Corral's the best quarterback. Now, I don't think it's a good quarterback class at all, but I think he's the best one.
We'll go to 10 here. The New York Jets taking Drake London. I think you give Zach Wilson a weapon, see if he can be a guy. Drake London is second best receiver in this draft, according to me.
Dude has mitts. I mean, you throw it up there, he's going to catch it. He's like a backboard. Big body, he can run routes. I really don't think you can go wrong with him. He seems like he's going to be a workhorse wherever he goes to. He can block. He can play against any receiver, any DB. So I think he'll be fun.
I'm going to have to disagree, honestly. My Patriots took Nikhil Harry in the first round. Big-bodied receiver, makes contested catches. I feel like that doesn't always translate to the NFL. Corners are way better in the NFL than in college, obviously. They're more physical, faster. So I feel like his lack of separation creation and the fact that he's really just known as like a contested catch, big-body receiver might not translate over to the NFL.
Let's go to pick number 11, 12, and 13 here.
Oh, I like this. 3 in a row. Let's go.
Yeah, 3 in a row. Scott's like, all right, it's 4. So I have the Washington Commanders taking Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU corner. I think he's really good. I think this is a great cornerback draft. And I have Vikings Jake taking Jermaine Johnson out of FSU. Transfer guy and just was a beast this year. I think that he could go earlier than this, honestly. There's a lot of mock drafts that have him going earlier, but the Vikings need a pass rusher. I think he's a great player. And then Texans, they could go in a lot of directions here, and they could also trade because they have 2 picks. But I have him taking Trevor Pennings, who's a small school guy out of Northern Iowa, but absolute monster. His film is insane. It's against, weaker opponents, but a monster of a human being and should be able to translate. What are your guys' thoughts on those?
Washington, I think, is going to take Kenny Pickett. It seems like they had a lot invested in his pro day. They had like 12 guys there. I think Washington would go quarterback there, even with Carson Wentz. Jermaine Johnson's a good pick. The Vikings do need to boost their D-line. And Trevor Pennings, one of my favorite players in the draft. Dude's nasty, gets in people's faces, even though he's a small school guy and doesn't really care about it. So I think it's a good pick there.
I'm going to disagree with you, Tony. I think just about the Washington one, I think the Commanders need a guy in the secondary because who do they have? Landon Collins is washed. I don't even know.
They got Curl.
Curl's good, but that's it. And Kendall Ford.
I don't even know if they have Landon Collins anymore.
Can't go quarterback here. Like,
I don't know. A 3rd round pick isn't like much investment though.
Yeah,
and it's also Carson Wentz, so it's not like He's not Matt Ryan.
I just think they would be, and not saying Dan Snyder gives a fuck about the fan base, but I think it would be hard to tell fans like, hey, sorry, we're drafting a quarterback after we just got this quarterback. Yeah. Basically like punting on the pick. So like,
well, the Bears did the same thing last year with Andy Dalton and Fields. They even did this. They even did the QB1 post.
No, yeah, I mean that's true. But no offense to Andy Dalton, I think Carson Wentz is probably better than Andy Dalton.
Yeah, he probably is. But I mean, they got a guy for cheap and was like he's our starter. I still think they go defensive. They go for a secondary guy either way.
Stingley definitely had one of the best defensive seasons as a freshman. College football, he's playing literally the best receivers in all of college football.
As a Minnesota fan, I want Stingley, but if he's gone, anybody that plays defense, our offense is fine. I have no issue with Jermaine Johnson. That would be a perfectly fine pick with me.
He'll come in right away and produce too. Like he's ready to go. But yeah, with that, we'll go 14, 15, 16. Baltimore Ravens. I think Charles Cross lineman here. They need a lineman. Villanueva retired. And then Jordan Davis, who honestly I think will be the best player to come out of this draft class. For some reason, he's in every mock draft I've seen going around this level. He was an absolute monster. If you watch college football, you know that he was a beast. And Fletcher Cox is still on the Eagles, but he's 33, I think. And it would be great for Jordan Davis to be able to learn from him. And then I have Chris Olave going to the Saints. They have absolutely no wide receivers other than Michael Thomas, but I don't know if he's going to play for the Saints. But regardless, they need playmakers, and I think that Chris Olave has a chance to be the best receiver in this draft. So
I like the Ravens pick. They do need an offensive lineman. Eagles are not going to draft Jordan Davis. They already got Javon Hargrave, and they re-signed Fletcher Cox. The Saints, literally, Alvin Kamara is their number 1 receiver, and that's
Callaway.
Yeah,
Callaway. Jeez.
But that should not be the case. They desperately need a receiver.
I feel like that Olave definitely has a chance to be the best receiver. He could definitely help them out a lot, especially if Michael Thomas doesn't look like he's coming back. But I think Davis is a special talent. He had a great combine. And I feel like whatever team he goes to, he's going to make an impact right away. Another player who I feel like can come in and make an impact right off the rip. So I feel like if whatever team ends up for him, whether it's the Eagles or not, got a great steal in him.
I agree. Well, I'll just say it as it is. Jordan Davis is by far my favorite player in the draft prospect-wise. I just think this guy is going to be so dangerous. I can't wait to watch him. Chris Olave, the Saints, they need someone like Tony said. And if Michael Thomas comes back, is he going to be the same Michael Thomas we saw a few years ago? There's no guarantee.
So these are the final picks that I have in my graphic here. 3 insane players going here to 17, 18, 19. Chargers, Nakobe Dean, just insane linebacker out of Georgia that was part of that insane defense. And the Chargers could use a linebacker in this spot. Nakobe Dean, I think, should go before this pick, but I've seen a lot of mock drafts have him in around this range. So the Eagles, again, could potentially trade out of that spot. But Jameson Williams, I think that the fact they've gone receiver, I think 3 straight years or 2 straight years, they can survive without him until he comes back. But when he comes back, him and Devontae Smith could be insane. Kenny Pickett going to the Saints. I think that he'd probably compete with Jameis. I think Jameis might get the job to start, but Kenny Pickett would be their guy. This quarterback class, like we said, isn't that great. And the Saints might not go quarterback either, but I think it makes sense. So,
like, you guys like Pickett and Malik a lot more than Corral. I would take Corral.
Corral. My only thing is like Corral's hurt. His draft stock's already going to drop. It's the same thing with Williams. I don't really know if Williams is going to go in the first round just because of his injury.
I've seen Williams top 15 in some of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him all over the place also. And then I was just going to add on, I've seen Nakobe Dean fall to the second round just because of his size.
I have too.
He is undersized, and he's not like Roquan Smith where it's sort of like known that he was a dog.
I think that I do have him going earlier than a lot of drafts I've seen. but that's just me thinking that he's going to be really good. And I think that like fast linebackers and like not necessarily like huge guys are like kind of becoming more of a thing. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you all for being on the call. This was a fun time, I would say. Special time. Shout out to you most of all though, Scott. It is now what, 4?
Nah, it's 1:30. Don't mind that. Come on, chatting ball. That's what we're here for. Let's do it.
Wow, you the real MVP, man.
Nah.
My
Don't
first
nah.
pick.
Stop that stuff.
My
now.
first pick.
That's off my board. Not it.
Can we get that? Can we Photoshop my face in the first pick to the Jags? I kind of like that. I think we should get that going.
You don't want to go there, bro.
It's like me winning the green jacket.
Yeah. All right. Well, like and subscribe.